So yeah, I was playing Jagged Alliance 2, and I realised about halfway through that I didn't care for the actual game. I ended up playing logistics. I was moving weapons and ammo around the map and making sure that there was the right ammo was with the right weapons, and I was stacking a
I was
shelf.
having this with Watchdog Legion. Like, yeah, it's cool to drive around the city I grew up in and recognize some of the things,
Hmm.
and they've done a really good job with this area. And oh my, they've even included Pimlico, where I grew up. Like, no one thinks about Pimlico in London. It's just the little collection of streets next to Westminster. The building I grew up in is gone. That's an evil supervillain lair, which I thought was quite good. Um,
So accurate. Right.
but apart from the nostalgia thing and some cool tech, I found myself not caring about any of the missions at all. And like, this is a really well made game, as in technically well done. I don't agree with some of the basic game design decisions,
Yeah.
but no part of me wants to do this.
Just
Like,
just
that's a
not there.
really interesting moment in the game. And by the way, this is not me saying the game is bad. This is my personal reaction to the game. Um, just couldn't bring myself to want to load it up anymore, which
I
is a
get that.
weird thing. But here's my question: how do you say to a game designer, "Okay, we've got this great city in the gameplay loops. It's not quite working. Could you make it more fun for me?"
No. It's the short answer. I mean, a lot of games can end up falling into the trap of fetch quests. That's a common thing in any RPG. You're like, why am I
Yeah.
doing this? Why am I going to that house, picking up this thing, and walking it back? You are lazy. That'll be 10 gold coins, please.
Oh, did you ever play the Discworld point and click adventure, the original one, with Eric Idle as Rincewind?
No. So
Oh,
that
okay. So
was
it's
a
a
little
point and
bit
click.
before my time.
Shush. It was a point and click game, right? With all the tropes of point and click game.
Mm.
So there's one point where you start this new chapter in the game, and Rincewind the Wizard, voiced by Eric Idle, is standing there, and he needs this item to proceed. And the guy standing next to you just goes, "Oh, I've got one of them. You can have." Really? Yeah, you can just have it. You don't want to give me like a long series of pointless quests and hard to use things that I can't make sense of and have to put items together randomly to solve. No. Oh, go on. Oh, I don't really want to. Oh, make it more fun for me. And you're sitting there yelling at your avatar, for want of a better word. Nah, that was very well done.
That
Well, that did make me realize that I don't like point and click adventure games
so a
because
point
the
and
amount of
click.
pointless busy work.
Do
Just
they
to like,
do they actually exist? I've seen some games where it's like find the object on the screen sort of things,
no.
especially for
They went
mobile.
out of fashion. Double Fine tried to bring it back with the cave a few years back, which was fine. Um, I got very irritated that a bug wiped all of my progress in it, so I just didn't finish playing it.
My first experience that I remember of a point and click adventure, I probably had some before this, but I think it was Goblins 3, I think. It had it was one of those games back in the day where the code in order to launch the game, you had like a thick manual like this, and you had
Oh
to
yeah, I remember those.
go to page 5 and paragraph
That
2
was
and
from
the
the
third
80s.
word. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, but I really enjoyed that. But I think being young at the time, I didn't quite understand some of the things, and perhaps it was that cryptic. As you mentioned there, you've got to combine this glass of milk with a screwdriver, and that
Yeah, the
opens the
options were completely
box.
random.
Yeah,
Um, they were very popular for a while. LucasArts did a whole bunch of them. Um,
Monkey Island was
Monkey Island,
yeah.
Day of the Tentacle, Full
Day
Throttle.
of the Tentacle still good. They remastered it a couple of years back.
I think they did with Monkey Island as well.
Yeah,
Sam and Max was amazing.
not played.
Sam and Max hit the road. They actually did make a new one of those recently, but I've never played it. Um, I think that hit just at the right sweet spot for me. I was about 14, 15. And it's about a I forget which breed of dog he is, but there's a dog detective called Sam and his psychopathic bunny friend Max.
Yeah,
And you're trying to solve very surreal mysteries involving things like vortices and Bigfoots and parallel dimensions and fruitcake. Fruitcake came up a lot, but it was one of those classic point and click games.
So,
Um,
Beneath the
problem with point and
Steel
click games-
Sky.
Yep.
That is one I want to play. The it's not a real sequel, I don't think, but Beyond the Steel Sky keeps
It's
coming
a
up.
sequel. It's just
Oh,
not,
it's a
I don't
sequel.
believe it's a point and click game.
No,
I'm not sure.
but Beneath the Steel Sky, I kind of got, I almost got mentally prepared for it because it's such an old game that you have to just deal with the idiosyncrasies that come with that generation of games.
I mean,
And
most of them-
I really enjoyed it. I really got into it, and I made sure I was blinkered. I focused only on that game and didn't play anything else, because otherwise the whole thing of it being like 64 pixels wide or ridiculous small resolution, you had to kind of let your brain get there.
And in those days, the graphics were very good. I believe the Steel Sky was one of the more sort of grown-up games in that genre, but the genre was huge and then just vanished.
Very, very
Just
quickly.
vanished.
Yeah.
And there's some interesting videos about why it may have vanished, but yeah, it was a tough one.